Hello friends, in this session we are going to discuss about hybridization of molecules. So according to valency bond theory, hybridization of atomic orbitals and how the orbitals are generated in the molecule. So it plays an important role in the construction of molecule. Now let us discuss about this hybridization, how many type of hybridizations are possible, how the atomic orbitals get combined to give the hybrid orbitals, and what are the examples for hybridized orbitals, and what are the important characters like bond angles and example for those type of hybridizations we are going to discuss in this session. Hybridization is nothing but we are mainly considering carbon and its related compounds for this hybridization process now. So in case of carbon, we know that its atomic ground state atomic configuration is given as 1s2, 2s2 and 2p2. So here this 2s and 2p orbitals are considered as valency shell, and valency shell electrons always responsible for bond formation. That's the reason why 2s and 2p orbital, these 4 electrons present in the carbon, that's why we can say carbon valency is 4. These 4 valency electrons present in the carbon are responsible for different bond formations. So in case of ground state, 2s orbital have 2 electrons and 2p orbital also have 2 electrons. Then when energy is supplied, one of the electron get excited into this so that 4 unpaired electrons are present. This is about the ground state and excited state electronic configuration of the carbon atom. Now let us see what is meant by hybridization. Hybridization is nothing but intermixing of atomic orbitals leads to formation of equal number of molecular orbitals with equal amount of energy and equal shape. So we can combine spherical s orbital, dumbbell p orbital, but whatever molecular orbitals formed, all are having equal energy. That means all are degenerated in nature, and also orbital, what the shape of the orbital also same, and hybridized orbitals having uniform angle, and that type of nature will be there. So we can define this hybridization as intermixing of atomic orbitals leads to formation of equal number and equal energy containing what combined orbitals are called hybrid orbitals. When we consider the simple example methane, methane is formed by carbon which is surrounded by 4 hydrogens around this. Here we have electrons. In case of excited carbon atom, 2 is 1 electron is there and 2p orbital, 3 electrons are present. This is about the excited state electronic configuration of carbon atom. Now, s orbital and 3p orbitals can intermix. The mixing of these 4 orbitals are possible. Now we will get 4 hybrid orbitals in this, and whatever orbitals generated, all are having equal energy. In case of this, the energy may be different, 2s and 2p energy may be slightly different, but whatever hybrid orbitals generated after mixing, all are having equal energy, and the shape of the orbitals also exactly same. Here s orbital and px, py, pz orbital represented in different orientations towards x, y, z axis, and mixing of these 4 orbitals leads to formation of 4sp3 hybridized orbitals. So these 4sp3 hybridized orbitals present in the carbon atom are occupying 4 corners of regular tetrahedral shape. Here 4 corners of regular tetrahedral indicated in this figure. All these 4 orbitals are sp3 hybridized orbitals. These sp3 hybridized orbitals are well separated by 109 degrees 28 minutes bond angle. This is the standard bond angle of sp3 hybridized orbitals. All the 4 orbitals are equally spaced, and the bond angle between any 2 adjacent orbitals are given by 109 degrees 28 minutes. This is about sp3 hybridization in case of carbon atom. Now, these 4sp3 hybrid orbitals of carbon can overlap with s orbital of hydrogen, because we are discussing about the structure of methane. In this carbon having 4sp3 hybridized and hydrogens are there, 4 hydrogens. Each hydrogen is composed of 1s electron, only 1 electron will be there in that, and that s orbital get combined with these 4 sp3 hybridized orbitals, and final structure will be like this. This is the structure of methane, where Hybridized orbital of carbon get combined with s orbital of hydrogen. 4 sigma bonds are generated in 4 corners of this regular tetrahedral structure. And it is very important to remember the bond angle between any two adjacent sp3 hybridized orbitals are given by 109 degrees 28 minutes. The simple example for this is methane. Now we are going to discuss about the second one, that is sp2 hybridization. sp2 stands for one s orbital and two p orbitals are intermixing, so that we will get 3 hybridized orbitals of equal energy. So as already we know, ground state and excited state, configuration of carbon atom. In only again we are considering these valency electrons of 2s and 2p. In case of 2s and 2p, we are mixing only one s orbital, two p orbitals, px and py, and pz orbital remains unhybridized. We are not participating this pz orbital here. Hence, it is called sp2 hybridization. One s orbital and two p orbitals get intermixed. sp2 hybridized orbitals are 3, and this is paired already. Inner shell will be there, and this is unhybridized 2p orbital remains on this carbon only. Now, it is represented like this. So, 2s and 2p orbitals hybridized, 3 2p orbitals are generated in this molecule. These 3 2p sp2 hybridized orbital, when we are considering the molecule like ethylene, around the carbon atom we have 3 sp2 hybridized carbon atoms. So, this is one of the sp2 hybridized, this is second sp2 hybridized, this is the third sp2 hybridized carbon atom. sp2 hybridized orbital is there. So, when we are taking ethene molecule, each carbon is surrounded by 2 hydrogens. That's why s orbital of one hydrogen and s orbital of second hydrogen get intermixed with this carbon hybridized orbital, so that we will get these 2 sigma bonds. One of the sp2 hybridized orbital of first carbon and the sp2 hybridized orbital of second carbon involved in this axial overlapping, again another sigma bond formation is possible. In the same way, second carbon also involved in this axial overlap with s orbital of 2 hydrogens, again we will get 2 sigma bonds. Apart from these hybridized orbitals, we have one more unhybridized orbital on each carbon atom, that is 2pz orbital. This 2pz orbital is orienting in this way, and these 2pz orbitals, always remember, whatever orbitals hybridized always leads to generate sigma bonds. So whatever orbitals which are unhybridized leads to form pi bond formation in the molecule. These p orbitals present in the carbon overlap above the plane as well as below of the plane laterally. This is called lateral overlapping. So hence, because of this lateral overlapping, it is able to form pi bond, which is simply represented by, in between we have carbon with sigma bonds, and above the plane and below of the plane we have this pi electron density. So this is about pi orbitals. Pi bond formation is possible in this direction. Sigma bond formation on axis. So that's why sigma bond is called axial bond. Pi bond is called non-axial, which is not laying on the axis. That's why this bond is called non-axial. So ethylene is the best example for this one. Here, 1s and 2 p orbitals are involved in this case of sp2 hybridization. sp2 hybridized orbitals are separated by 120 degrees bond angle. So 109 degrees is sp3 hybridization. 120 degrees bond angle is present in this sp2 hybridization. In case of ethene, along with this sp2 hybridized, unhybridized orbitals are involved in pi bond formation. So this is about sp2 hybridization. So ethylene molecule contains 5 sigma bonds. How can we say 5 sigma bonds? 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 sigma bonds are present in between 2 carbon atoms and 4 hydrogen atoms. One of the pi bond is there, which is laying above the plane as well as below the plane. So, and another example for sp2 hybridization in boron trifluoride. In boron trifluoride also we have this s orbital. Boron is having one short of electron compared to carbon, so that it able to form what, one s electron is there, sorry, two s electrons and one p electron is there. After the excitation that is converted into, after the excitation that is converted into 2s1 2p2, so that we will have three unpaired electrons in the valency shell after the excitation. So these three p orbitals, three electrons present in 2s and 2p orbitals of boron binds with p orbital of fluorine, so that we will get three sigma bonds. Three sp2 hybridized orbitals are occupying three corners of the plane, so that we will get sp2p sigma bond. Why we are saying sp2p sigma bond? Because this sp2 orbital belongs to the boron atom, and this p is nothing but p orbital of fluorine atom. Fluorine atom contains one odd electron in its valency shell. That's why that p orbital containing odd electron will bind with sp2 hybridized orbital of boron, and the bond angle will be 120. So this is about sp2 hybridization. sp2 hybridization is nothing but intermixing of one s orbital and two p orbitals leads to form three sp2 hybridized orbitals which are laying on the plane. The structure of sp2 hybridization will be trigonal planar and the bond angle will be 120. Structure of sp3 hybridization is tetrahedral. Bond angle will be 1 at 9 degrees 28 minutes. And now we are going to discuss about sp hybridization. In this only we have the meaning. Sp stands for one of the s orbital binds with one of the p orbital. Sp hybridization leads to formation of linear molecule. Always sp hybridization leads to form the linear molecule with 180 degrees bond angle. Again we are considering the carbon valency electron shell in the excited state. S orbital contains one electron, p orbital contains three electrons. Only we are combining s orbital and p orbital, leaving two p orbital electrons unhybridized. Sp hybridization stands for one s orbital and only one p orbital involved. We will get sp hybridized orbitals, and the remaining two electrons are present in unhybridized orbitals. Now, this carbon, in order to explain the structure, we are taking acetylene as the example. In this acetylene, we have central carbon. Central carbon have here 1 and 2. Two sp hybridized orbitals are there. One sp hybridized orbital can combine with another sp hybridized orbital of second carbon atom in acetylene. Acetylene will be carbon which attached with one hydrogen and one hydrogen respectively. So these two sp hybridized orbitals are combining linearly, and another sp hybridized orbital combines with another hydrogen s orbital which is called the sigma sps. Sigma sps stands for sp orbital of carbon, s orbital of hydrogen axially overlapping leads to form sigma bond. Here also sigma bond between sp hybridized orbitals of two carbon atoms. Here another sigma bond formation between sp hybridized orbital of carbon and s orbital of second hydrogen. So that the final structure will be like this. So we will get three sigma bonds now. So here these two are able to form uh, bonds with these hydrogens and carbon, and remaining two p orbitals are laying. So these two p orbitals, one is py and another is pz orbital, laying perpendicular to the axis. This is the linear axis, and these two orbitals are laying above and below of the plane which are perpendicular to this axial plane. When we are taking these orbitals, these are interacting again in non-linear fashion which is called lateral overlapping of p orbitals. These p orbitals are overlapping above and below of the plane, so that we will get two pi bonds, because py orbitals and pz orbitals both are involving in pi bond formation. That is called p pi and two p pi bonds are generated here. This is the final structure of acetylene, where we have two pi bonds which are laying above and below of the plane, and three sigma bonds which are laying on the sigma plane. Here the hybridization is sp and the molecule is linear, and the bond angle will be 120 degrees. Angle will remain same, that is 180 degrees, then only it becomes a linear. And another simple example is beryllium difluoride. Beryllium composed of 1s2 2s2. Valency shell is 2s only. Here we have 2 electrons. When we excite one of the electron from s orbital into p orbital, it becomes 2s1, 2p1. When 2s1, 2p1 orbital, this is the excited state of beryllium 2s1, 2p1. When we are taking 2s1, 2p1, two unpaired electrons are intermixing so that we will get sp hybridized orbitals. This beryllium, two sp hybridized orbitals now mixed with two fluorines p orbitals in the axial manner so that we will get beryllium. See, here is the structure of beryllium difluoride, central beryllium, which is sp hybridized so that it mixed with fluorine atom p orbital one side, another fluorine atom p orbital another side. Finally, we will get linear molecule and the bond angle in between adjacent bonds are 180. Hence, it is a simple example for sp hybridization. Intermixing of one s orbital and one p orbital. Here the s character will be 50% because only one s orbital, one p orbital, that's why 50-50 will be there. So 50% s character and 50% p character will be there. In case of sp hybridization, we will get linear molecule here. Here, when orbital overlapping axis, along the axis always sigma bond formation is possible. Perpendicular to the axis always pi bond formation is possible. Perpendicular bonding is also called as lateral overlapping, and lateral overlapping always leads to weak bond, that is always pi bond is weak compared to sigma bond because it is not direct. That is the lateral overlapping or partial overlapping is possible in case of pi bond formation. When we are taking these bond lengths in case of sp, sp2 and sp3 hybridized carbon atoms, bond length of carbon-carbon single bond in sp3 hybridization is 1.54, sp2 hybridization is 1.34, double bond always shorter compared to single bond. When we are taking triple bond, again the bond is still shorter, that is 1.25. So as the bond number increases, bond length gets decreases. 1.54 is the carbon-carbon single bond length. 1.34 angstroms is the carbon-carbon double bond length. 1.21 is the carbon-carbon triple bond length. When we are taking these bonds, what happens? Bond energies are inversely proportional to their bond order. Means number of bonds increases. In order to cleave those bonds, we have to supply excess amount of energy. That's why one bond we have 83 kilocalories of energy to cleave the bond. Two double bond is there that needs 144 kilocalories of energy. Triple bond needs 196 kilocalories of energy in order to cleave this carbon-carbon triple bond. This is about the relation between bond length and bond energy. All these are given by the property of hybridization. Now we are discussing about dsp2 hybridization, where mixing of one d orbital, one s orbital, two p orbitals are possible. Here, this type of hybridization, one s orbital, two p orbitals, and one d orbital is possible. When the ligands are very strong, this type of hybridization is possible. This dsp2 hybridization mainly leads to the formation of square planar structure. Square planar structure. That square planar structure is the square planar structure leads to give the bonds, all the four bonds which are laying in the plane, and all the bonds are separated by 90 degrees bond angle. Here the simple example for square planar complex is platinum, which is surrounded by four fluorine atoms, tetrafluoroplatinum. That complex is square planar in nature. Otherwise, we can take SF4, that SF4 also having that square planar structure. These are the simple examples. So, when strong field ligands are present in the transition metal complexes, so strong field ligands are used to generate these what square planar complexes, and weak field ligands are used to generate these tetrahedral complexes. Now, let us discuss about dsp3 and sp3d hybridization. dsp3 hybridization in the sense one p orbital, one s orbital, three p orbitals are combining. So, inner sphere and outer sphere, both the type of complexes are possible. So, if we are participating inner sphere orbitals, the hybridization becomes dsp3. Strong field ligands are used to induce this type of hybridization. sp3d is nothing but outer sphere d orbital. For example, if 3d orbital and 4s, 4p orbitals involved in hybridization, that is called inner sphere. 4s, 4p and 4d orbitals involved in hybridization, that is called outer sphere. So weak field ligands are used to give sp3 dehybridization. Strong field ligands are used to give dsp3 hybridization. Now let us see the simple example. 1s orbital, 3 p orbitals, 1 d orbital represented by double dumbbell structure. So that dsp3 hybridization, is possible. We are taking the simple example phosphorus pentachloride, the example for this. Phosphorus atom, nitrogen family element, NH2, NP3 configuration will be there. NH2 NP3 is the valency electronic configuration. When we excite one of the electron from s orbital, that electron enters into d orbital. So we will get 3s1, 3p3, 3d1. So we are mixing 1s orbital, 3 p orbitals and 1 d orbital, so that sp3 dehybridization is generated. So 5 hybridized orbitals are formed. These 5 hybridized orbitals can mix with 5 chlorine atoms in this trigonal bipyramidal geometry. Trigonal bipyramidal is nothing but 3 chlorine atoms are laying on the plane and 2 chlorine atoms are laying on the axis. These are called axial chlorine atoms and remaining 3 are called equatorial chlorine atoms. Okay, so this is about the structure of trigonal bipyramidal geometry. So trigonal bipyramidal geometry, central phosphorus are surrounded by 3 equatorial chlorines and 2 axial chlorines will be there. So next we are going to discuss about D2sp3 or sp3d2 hybridization. 2 d orbitals and 1 s orbital and 3 p orbitals involved in the bond formation. The simple example is SF6 molecule. We are taking sulfur. Sulfur is the oxygen family. NS2NP4 configuration will be there. So that's why s orbital 2 electrons and 3p orbital 4 electrons will be there. When we excite this sulfur atom, all the paired electrons get jumped into next 3d shell. So that what happens? So here 3s1, 3p3, 3d2. So 2 electrons entered into this one. So 1 is 3p and 2 d orbitals involved in mixing, so that we will get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hybridized orbitals. Around the sulfur, we have 6 hybridized orbitals. 4 orbitals are laying on the plane and 2 orbitals are axial orbitals. 2 fluorine orbitals are 2 sp3d2 hybridized orbitals are axial. Remaining 4 electron orbitals are equatorial orbitals. This is about SF6 molecule, which is octahedral in shape. This octahedral, 4 ligands are occupying the 4 corners of the plane and 2 ligands above and below of the plane. So now let us see comparison between all type of hybridized orbitals and what are their bond angles and simple example for all these compounds. When sp hybridization is there, 2 electrons are participating from that carbon atom and the structure will be linear in shape and bond angle will be 180 degrees. We just discussed beryllium difluoride and the acetylene molecule, which is also called as ethine, where carbon-carbon triple bond will be there. These molecules are called linear and bond angle will be 180 degrees. When sp2 hybridization is possible, here 1 electron in s, 2 electrons in p orbital, total 3 electrons from carbon participating bond formation. Shape of the molecule will be trigonal planar and the bond angle in all axes will be trigonal planar, that is 120 degrees. Here ethene or carbon-carbon double bond containing ethene molecule will be there and boron trifluoride is also example for this planar molecule. All the bond angles are exactly equal, that is 120. When we are taking s orbital with 3 p orbitals intermixing, so 4 orbitals are mixing, that's why 4 electrons from the central atom is involved in the bond formation. The shape is called tetrahedral and bond angle will be 109 degrees 28 minutes. Examples are methane and silicon tetrafluoride. When we are taking DsP2 hybridization, which is called a square planar, in case of strong field ligand, this type of hybridization is possible. and 4 electrons are required here also. All the electrons are laying on the same plane and the angle is exactly same between all the bonds, that is 90 degrees. Nickel tetracyanide, otherwise NH2 taken by Cl2 minus 2. This is the simple example. Even we can take platinum tetracyanide complex, that is also simple example for this square planar complex. Next is about d-sp3 hybridization. Mixing of p orbitals 3, 1 s orbital, 1 d orbital, total 5 electrons involved in the bond formation. The structure will be trigonal bipyramidal. These equatorial bonds and axial bonds are present. Axial bond length will be, axial bond angle will be 90 degrees and the equatorial bond angle will be 120, because the bonds which are laying on the plane are 120. Bonds which are axial position, those are 90 degrees. PCl5, FeCO taken 5 are the simple examples for this trigonal bipyramidal structure. Next type of hybridization is D2sp3, which is also called as sp3d2. So in inner sphere D2sp3 will be there, outer sphere sp3d2 hybridization will be there. Both types are possible based on the nature of ligand present in that. So in both the cases, 6 electrons are involved and 6 orbitals are participating in the mixing. Final structure will be octahedral. 4 bonds are laying in this plane and 2 bonds are axial bonds will be there. All the bond angles are exactly equal. 90 degrees bond angle will be there. SF6, sulfur hexafluoride is the simple example for this octahedral molecule, and another one is cobalt NH3 taken 6. This is also simple example for octahedral complex. So hybridization is nothing but, what is hybridization? Hybridization is nothing but intermixing of atomic orbitals. Let us see how intermixing of atomic orbitals is possible. Here, s orbital, p orbital, when mixed, formation of sp hybridization is possible. This sp hybridization is in linear shape and 180 degrees bond angle will be there. Very simple. Is mixing of s orbital and 1 p orbital is possible. Both are mixing together and linear structure with sp hybridization is possible. S and px orbital get mixed. Sp hybridization. We are seeing three-dimensional representation of sp hybridization here. Sp hybridization in case of beryllium chloride. Beryllium is having 2s2 electronic configuration. When we excite the electron, 2s1, 2p1 formation is possible finally. And 2s1, 2p1 electrons, these two get mixed and there is a formation of interlinked molecule like this here. This is the sp hybridized orbital because two orbital sp mixed. These involved in the sigma bond formation with p orbitals of fluorine atoms. So this is called sp-p sigma bond formation. So these are the axial bonds and sigma bond formation is possible. Sigma bond formation is possible. Now let us see mixing of s orbital with two p orbitals, which is called sp2 hybridization. sp2 hybridized orbitals, 3 sp2 hybridized orbitals are generated. The structure will be trigonal planar. Trigonal planar in the sense 3 bonds are laying within the plane and all the bond angle will be 120 degrees. Three-dimensional representation of sp2 hybridized orbitals are represented here. S orbital, px orbital, py orbital get mixed. All the orbitals are laying within the plane. All are staying within the plane, and that's why it is called trigonal planar. And the bond angle will be 120. All are the equally spaced. 120 degrees bond angle will be there. When we are taking benzene, benzene is also another simple example for this sp2 hybridized orbitals. Each carbon is sp2 hybridized. So that's why it contains sp2, sp2, sp2. 3 sp2 hybridized orbitals are present. That's why 3 sigma bonds it able to form. And apart from that, one is pz orbital will be there. on each carbon atom. So those pz orbitals on each carbon atom of benzene involved in a what pi bond formation above and below of the plane, so that we will get pi delocalized cloud above and below of the plane in benzene molecule. This is about sp3 hybridization, one s orbital and 3 p orbitals get mixed. We will get 4 equal energy containing sp3 hybridized orbitals, which are present in tetrahedral structure with 109 degrees 5 minutes of bond angle. The dimensional representation of sp3 hybridization, one s orbital and 3 p orbitals are intermixing, so that within the single plane 4 orbitals are generated. 4 orbitals are placed equally spaced like this. All the angles are exactly equal. Methane is the simple example for this sp3 hybridization, where we have 2 electrons in s and 2 p electrons in p orbitals. Excitation, this electron also excited, so that sp3 hybridized orbitals, now 4 sp3 hybridized orbitals are generated. These are forming sigma bonds with 4 hydrogen atoms. So very simple tetrahedral molecule formation is possible. sp3 hybridized molecules are having tetrahedral structure, sp2 hybridization having planar structure, sp hybridization having linear structure. So this is a simple example for that one. So in this way, we can describe the various types of hybridizations in the molecule. Hybridization leads to formation of equal energy and equal number containing orbitals, which are having the specific type of bond angles, and their examples are provided. Based on this, their properties are claimed. I think this session is very much helpful to you. Thank you. Thank you very much.